hike 170 kilometers.
The Tour du Mont Blanc is one of the most beautiful hikes in the world. Glaciers, valleys, mountain passes, it's breathtaking almost every step of the way. But it's not only sunshine and views. Out there you get the good, the bad and the ugly. The good is obvious, it's the endless panoramas, it's the mountain huts, laughter with friends, the satisfaction of a hard climb rewarded with a view. The bad? Steep, endless climbs in dark forests, knees that hurt, rocky descents, and days when the weather doesn't care about your plans. And the ugly? That's when sickness, storms or mistakes catch up with you.
But it's still that.
But here's the truth. It's exactly that mix, the highs and the lows, the struggle and the beauty, that makes this hike unforgettable. This is not a highlight reel. This is what it really feels like to hike 170 kilometers around the Mont Blanc.
The variety of the trail.
If I had to describe the Tour du Mont Blanc in one word, it would be variety. Every hour the landscape shifts under your feet. You can start a day climbing a steep track through a thick forest, sweat dripping and your legs burning and no views in sight. Then suddenly you're out in the open, crossing a hanging bridge, looking down on a turquoise glacier lake, and the world feels endless again. That contrast, the grind and the reward, the ordinary and the extraordinary, is what keeps you moving forward. You're never stuck in one feeling for too long. The trail constantly resets itself, and so does your mind. Just when you think you had enough, it hands you something magical.
So it's day one of the Tour du Mont Blanc adventure. We started this morning early in Les Jouches, and from there we climbed up to the Col de Vosa. We saw the beautiful tram passing by. Original idea was that track would lead all the way up to the Mont Blanc. Didn't work out. 12 kilometers done, 8 more to go. 300 more meters of climbing, and then it's only descending, and I'm going to do this for the next 8 days. So it's a really nice adventure again, and also great preparation for Nice that is coming up in 3 weeks. So enjoy the footage.
Lessons in choices.
Tour du Mont Blanc also teaches you lessons in the hard way. The end of day one, we thought we were clever. We had enough of the climbing and thought that we could walk around Montjuic and skip it. On the map it looked easier, less climbing and a smoother trail, but the reality, same amount of altitude, but none of the views. Just hours of forest, repetitive steps, and a nagging feeling that we made the wrong call. Out there, shortcuts rarely pay off. You think you're saving energy, but what you're really doing is robbing yourself of the reward. On the Tour du Mont Blanc, if there's a choice between harder with views or easier without them, take the harder path every single time.
The grind of the climbs.
Climbs are what makes the Tour du Mont Blanc both frustrating and addictive. We left Contamine on day 2 and the day started really easy and it felt like a dream. It was a flat trail, cool air, birds were singing in the trees and it really felt like a gentle warm-up. But then you get to a little stone church on your right hand side which is called Notre Dame de la Gorge, and all of a sudden the road goes up. And it doesn't go up a little, it goes up steep. It's rocky, It's in the forest, and your easy morning is gone. For me, steep climbs in the woods are the toughest. You're working just as hard as on the open slopes, but you don't get the reward, which is the view. There's nothing to distract your mind from the burn in your legs. It feels endless, and yet you keep pushing, because you know what waits above the tree line.
So it's day 2 in the mountain madness. Just left La Contamine, and today is going to be only half the day of yesterday. 13 kilometers, 1400 meters of climbing, and left La Contamine at 10 o'clock. And yeah, hopefully we'll get to Refuge de Bonhomme somewhere around the end of the afternoon.
Breaking into the high country.
And then it happens. You break through the trees, and suddenly the world is wide open again. At Refuge de la Balme we stopped for a coke and refilled our water, and from there it felt like stepping into another planet. A rushing stream cut through the valley on my left, jagged peaks towering on the right, and sheep dotted the slopes like tiny white stones guarded by watchful dogs. That's the Tour du Mont Blanc in a single moment, exhaustion in your legs, sweat on your back, but a view so powerful that you forget the pain. Every step feels like it costs something, but every step also gives something back.
The descent lesson.
Where the climb tests your lungs, the descents test your patience. I expected them to be the easy part, where gravity was helping us down. But on the Tour du Mont Blanc, descents can be more brutal than the climbs. The drop from Col du Tricot was rocky, slippery and so technical that every step demanded focus. Instead of flying downhill, we crawled. And that is a cruel balance of the trail. What looks like relief often turns out to be just another kind of punishment. On the Tour du Mont Blanc, you don't get anything for free.
False summits and real refugios.
Another lesson that the Tour du Mont Blanc teaches you is that you never celebrate too early. At Col de Bonhomme, you think the climb is done, the pass opens up and the views explode and it feels like all the hard work is behind you. But it isn't. There still is another hour of climbing before the refuge finally appears, and that hour can feel longer than the whole day. But when you do arrive, a beautiful stone hut on the ridge, wind sweeping across the peaks, silence everywhere, the struggle transforms into something else. You realize this is what you came for. It's not the comfort, but it's the raw combination of beauty, struggle and reward.
The daily question. The weather.
Every single morning, the Tour du Mont Blanc starts with the same question, and that is, what's the weather going to do?
I think it's about 6th time that I put it on my rain jacket. Today it's on and off.
It decides everything. It decides what you wear, it decides the route that you take, and even the tone of your conversations over breakfast. Clear skies means confidence, clouds means caution.
Blue sky is gone, unfortunately. Probably an hour or two we're going to get some rain.
And forecasts in the mountains are only ever half right.
So it was cold on the top of Col de la Seigne.
You learn quickly that weather isn't just background. It's a character in the story, and sometimes this character is friendly. Sometimes it's hostile. But it's always there.
The variant gamble.
Morning. Day 3. Blue sky is gone, unfortunately. Probably an hour or two we're going to get some rain. But we're on the road again.
At Croix de Bonhomme, The forecast looked just good enough, so we gambled on the variant over Col de Four. Straight out of the refuge the climb begins, legs still heavy from the day before, and then comes the descent. It's steep, it's loose and it's rough. On a wet day it would be dangerous, but on this morning it was magic. Beautiful waterfalls blending down the cliffs, mountains crowding the horizon, and the valley unfolding below. That descent reminded me of something. The hardest trails are often the most rewarding, and sometimes you have to risk the gamble to get the payoff.
Crossing into Italy.
So slowly making my way up to the Col du Seigne, and every now and then we get a couple of drops, but the real rain is not coming, and actually it's starting to look better again. So 500 more meters until Col du Seigne.
At the top of Col de la Seigne the wind hit us. It was cold, wet, relentless. But standing there, you cross an invisible line. France is behind you and Italy is ahead. The character of the trails shifts, the landscape changes, and you feel the weight of moving country to country on foot. Just 3 kilometers later, refuge Elisabetta appeared, perched dramatically under the glaciers. And here's a tip: book a double room, because the dormitory, 8 beds wide, 3 high, and that is not for the light sleepers.
Start of day 4. Torrential rain last night. It's getting better, but it's still wet. But we're on the road again.
Encounters on the trail.
After leaving Elisabetta that morning and climbing up the first climb of the day, I met 2 older ladies. They came from Canada. Their pace was slow, and they took their time, and their luggage was being transported for them. But they were there, and they were taking in Tour du Mont Blanc in their own way. If I only could get old in that way. Also during this trip, Martijn and I were celebrating 20 years of friendship. 2 decades of up and downs on the trail of life. And yet we're still here, married fathers, healthy, and now sharing this beautiful loop around Mont Blanc together. Out there, the miles and the memories go hand in hand.
Running, rest and recharge.
So, day is almost over. I ran the descent into Courmayeur completely. It's a bit of a challenge with a pack of 10 kilos, but also good training for the upcoming event in Nice. And yeah, 15 kilometers done, and a nice afternoon of relaxing. And then we'll do it all again tomorrow. So it's day 5 on the trail. Left Courmayeur this morning. First a 800 meter climb in the first 4 kilometers. That was something. But managed, and now we're on a balcony where we more or less stay the rest of the day. So the hard work is done, and now everything the rest will be quite enjoyable. Today it was rain jacket on, rain jacket off, rain jacket on, rain jacket off. I'm going to take it off now.
But the Tour du Mont Blanc never lets you finish easy. The final climb to Refugio Elena hit me hard. I did not eat enough that day and I was quite low on energy, and the rain was coming in. One of those moments that remind you the trail always demands respect.
So day 6 already. Left Refugi Elena half an hour ago, and we're making our way up to Grand Col de Ferret.
Grand Col Ferret and warm coffee.
The next morning after we left Refugio Elena, Grand Col Ferret was on the menu. It was cold, the climb was steady and the views were beautiful. At the col you cross into Switzerland, and it felt like the start of the third chapter of the trip. We did not stay on the col very long, the sun only just came up and the wind was really chilling. During the descent we passed La Peule, where a simple cup of coffee felt like the greatest reward. Out there, simple things can turn into pure joy. Later that day we found a quiet spot to eat, and a couple of marmots came within just a few meters of us. Those are moments of pure mountain magic. And further down the trail we met the famous black Swiss cows with the big bells echoing across the valley. Two of them were fighting for dominance. Encounters like these remind you that the mountains have their own stories happening all around you. The trail was lined with blueberries and raspberries, one of the perks of hiking late in the season. That evening we reached Les Arlaches, where a small B&B gave us a quiet night that we really needed. The next morning it felt like a reset.
Day 7 of 8. So this trip almost comes to an end. Today we go to Col de la Forclaz. So that means an easy climb into Champix-Lac. From there we will start the climb to Refugio Bovine. Hopefully get some of the famous pie over there, blackberry pie. And then a quick descent to Col de la Fauclasse, where we stay in the hotel.
And then we went to Champex-Lac, where we walked through the town, grabbed a coffee and bought some snacks in the store. And it's also a great place to pick up some spare gear if you need. And we did, because Martijn broke his buckle just 200 meters before Champex-Lac. So here's a good tip. Bring a few essentials with you from the start. A spare buckle of your backpack, extra shoelaces or a mini repair kit. It's the tiny parts that can save a day big time.
Into the clouds.
From Champex-Lac we climbed towards Bovine, and during the climb we walked in the clouds. And just before we got to Bovine, the clouds started to break, and that gave some really beautiful views. The sun was coming through, it looked like we had floating mountains. It felt a bit like a fairy tale. And when we got to Bovine, we also saw the other side of the Tour du Mont Blanc. We saw somebody being evacuated by a helicopter. And that was a strong reminder that even a beautiful trail like Tour du Mont Blanc carries risks. Respect the mountains, because they can change everything within just a couple of minutes.
So it's day 8 of the Tour du Mont Blanc, last day. Left in the dark, climbing Col de la Balme, 300 meters to go, and then it's all descent to the car.
The final day I began in darkness already at 4:30 a.m. and the world was still complete silent. As I climbed towards Col de la Balme, the sky turned from black into blue, revealing the mountains one last time. The wind at the top cut right through me, and the good thing was that the refugio was open. And the hot coffee they had there was exactly what I needed before the long descent. Stepping out of the refugio, Mont Blanc finally revealed itself. It was there, clear, massive and perfect. After 8 days in the clouds, it felt really like the mountain had waited for this moment. From there, I ran as much as I could down to Chamonix, running low on fuel, a bit tired, but making a steady pace. A few sandwiches and a liter of yop in Chamonix carried me through the final stretch back to the car, which was parked in Les Us. The last few kilometers I was a bit sad, realizing that the adventure was coming to an end. The trip was everything I hoped for and even more. It had the climbs, it had the descents. We had good weather, we had bad weather, we had quiet moments, we had laughter, friendship. What an adventure it was. It was 8 days, it was 170 kilometers, it was 10,000 meters of climbing and a full loop around one of the most beautiful mountains in the world. The Tour du Mont Blanc is so much more than just a circle on the map. Until we meet again.
More.